Okay. It seems like we're on. Yeah. The fuck? Huh. Okay. Why don't we have this?
נוגדי חמצון מוכחים מדעית לתמיכה בחיים ארוכים.
Principia. In it, he showed that these same laws that described motion here on Earth are true across the universe as a whole. Newton's gravity was born. But there was a problem. If his universal law of gravity were true and every object with mass would attract one another, then surely this force would cause the universe to simply collapse in on itself. Newton borrowed his solution from the Greeks. He basically said that the universe were infinite with no center, and so the matter wouldn't collapse together as the unseen planets and stars would balance the entire system perfectly. Our first model for the universe was born, the static universe. Newton's description of the universe was not only infinite in space, but also in time. Newton was a Christian and therefore believed that his God may have created the universe, but didn't do so at any point in time. This idea of the static universe became widely accepted. That was until some people realized it had a problem. When people looked up to the sky at night, they saw bright spots of light coming from stars and large expanses of darkness. But if the universe were really infinite and eternal, as described by Newton, you should be able to look in any direction and see something. A star, a galaxy. This would make the night sky as bright as the sun. And yet that is not what we see. The universe must therefore not be infinite, static, and eternal. Something had to change. And that change came over 200 years later, and as with many things in physics, it came from Albert Einstein. In 1915, Einstein published his brilliant theory of relativity, and in it he made a bold discovery. As an observer speeds up, time slows down and length contracts. The closer you get to the speed of light, the slower time ticks, until at the speed of light, if you could reach it, time stops altogether. Space and time are therefore innately connected. They are one and the same thing, and they form the very fabric of the universe itself, space-time. Gravity isn't a force between objects, it's the bending of space-time itself by objects within it. The sun bends the fabric, and the Earth moves around this curved surface in an orbit. This was all good in theory, but they needed a way to test it, and 4 years later, they did just that. On May 29th, 1919, a total solar eclipse occurred, and it was visible from Brazil. Arthur Eddington organized 2 expeditions on behalf of the Royal Astronomical Society to image the eclipse. They were doing this to test Einstein's theory. If he were correct, then it wouldn't be just objects that move through this bent space-time, but the light itself should be bent and curved to move along this warped path. And since during an eclipse you can see the stars behind the sun, they could check and see if he was right. If his theory was wrong and the gravity of the sun doesn't bend the starlight, then they should appear to be here. But they weren't. The stars were here. They had shifted during the eclipse, being warped by the sun's gravity.
That's weird. Weird shit. Is that even possible? Is that even possible? What together?
Пожрать бы, конечно, не помешало.
Oh shit! I missed the door. Fuck me. Again.
by roughly the same amount as Einstein had predicted. Einstein was immediately shot into stardom. The Times of London reported new theory of the universe, Newtonian ideas overthrown, and his name became synonymous with genius. Einstein's new laws didn't just apply to the gravity between objects either. They could be used to examine the fabric of the cosmos itself. While he had dethroned Newton with his new theory of gravity, he soon found himself faced with the same problem that Newton faced 200 years earlier. In general relativity, the universe was unstable. It must either expand or collapse thanks to the force of gravity. To try and solve this problem, Einstein modified his equations, adding in a value that he called his cosmological constant. It represents the energy of empty space itself. Basically, if you just took a box of empty space, how much energy would be in that box? He could then adjust this value to match the observations of the static universe. He would go on to call this his biggest mistake, but as we'll see later in the video, he might have been right all along. As you've seen so far in this video, science is really the key to understanding our universe on a deeper level, and that doesn't just apply to space. It applies here on Earth too. That's why I'm beyond excited to partner with Planet Wild for this video. Think of Planet Wild like crowdfunding but for nature conservation. Members fund the organization every month and they use those funds to bring back endangered species, protect the oceans, and restore forests. They actually document all of these projects in video reports on their YouTube channel, so you can directly see how your contribution is being used to protect the planet.
No.
Yo, hold up. What is that? Is that an android?
No, it's your pussy.
Okay, so around the same time that Einstein was figuring all of this relativity stuff out, astronomers had been turning their attention to the night sky, trying to solve one.
See something else. What's this? No. Growing evidence we're in a black hole. Interesting. Don't waste your life to be 50 years irrelevant. Godfather of AI warns you have no idea what's coming. Really?
Or that anything can be done to slow down the pace and acceleration of AI.
Okay, there's two issues. One is, can you slow it down?
Yeah.
And the other is, can you make it so it will be safe in the end? It won't wipe us all out. I don't believe we're going to slow it down.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't believe we're going to slow it down is because there's competition between countries and competition between companies within a country. And all of that is making it go faster and faster. And if the US slowed it down, China wouldn't slow it down.
Does Ilya think it's possible to make AI safe?
I think he does. He won't tell me what his secret source is.
We're gonna watch that. Yeah.
Are you at all hopeful that any
Faith in Ilya, which isn't foolish. I mean, he was very important in AlexNet, which got object recognition working well. He was the main force behind the things like GPT-2, which then led to ChatGPT. So I think having a lot of faith in Ilya is a very reasonable decision.
There's something quite haunting about the guy that made and was the main force behind GPT-2, which led rise to this whole revolution, left the company because of safety reasons. He knows something that I don't know about what might happen next.
Well, the company had, no, I don't know the precise details, but I'm fairly sure.
That's too negative. It is too negative. We need to... Truth about aliens. Oh yeah, this is interesting.
Oh my god.
This is interesting. Very interesting.
Oh my god, this is so sick.
They were very clearly trying to scare me and then play. We were just kidding. Everything was like, oh, just messing around. And it sounds insane that people could live for 30,000 years, but it doesn't. Here's why it doesn't. There's real evidence that there's structures under the pyramids that might go as deep as 2 kilometers.
That look like an energy grid
with columns and coils around the columns and like...
I want to see that. Pyramids. think it's one of the most things that, like, probably the strangest things there is on Earth. The pyramids. As far as belief goes, nothing really explains it. If you put religion aside and you go back in time, it's gotta be stupid to think that humans built it. It's gotta be naive. Humans didn't build no pyramids. Not in that time. Hell, I don't think even this time they can build it. Same accurate. It's taken decades. And a lot of manpower. Death toll. No fucking way. I have a theory about it. Actually, I have a theory about Earth. I think we're in trying to find a word to say, not sound crazy. I'll go with simulation. Sounds crazy enough, but not too crazy. It's like an alternate. No, it's like a lab, like an ant farm, but it's a planet. Yeah. We're in the ant farm. Going to study our biology. AKA their creation. Be naive and say God made us. Physical that proves his existence. I say his because it's impossible for him to be a man. No woman can fuck this up like he did. Who did you kill, man? Regular Chad, huh? Gotta be naive. Think that. You're alone. On my headset. I want to know if we have stuck. He is here. They're downstairs. Should reload before I walk into a trap. What are the odds? I heard him. Oh, he's not here. Who screamed Sorale? Sorale. Could it be here? Okay. Okay, I'm confused now. I know that he says that shit all the time. Sorale and shit. Sorale. Dorale. But he's not here. So sore. I guess cultist is not here as well. Even though I heard some suppressor fire. Be somewhere else, maybe. Maybe at the other buildings. Tarkov. Okay. I think I need it, but took it anyway. It's free. You can sell it for like 100,000 rubles. Yeah, let's check this place. Is that a shadow? Ooh, it is. Money. I miss partisan.
Okay, we got bears.
Milk. We love milk. Kind of since the snow season started, partisan haven't shown even once. Just disappeared. He just disappeared. And the goons since 1.0 I saw him twice. That's it. Two? There's two. Come on. Stop moving. Probably waiting for my sound cue. like one of these movies. It's a fatality. Stealth fatality. They don't see you. You see them. It's kind of chill. I really like Tarkov. Like the base game, I like the PvE better. I wanted to play PvP and just go to arena or something. Arena is better than PvP, no rats, no campers and shit. Trying to chill. Have a chill weekend, no stress. I'm way past that age. Good time. You got a crime? Talk about drinking juice and moving. Not that bad. We'll be okay. Not anymore. Of course he has an SKS. No thank you, nothing. Reload. This good. Brought the rangefinder. Let's do a shotty. I'm gonna miss this. What else? I can use the gun too. Scavs. Save a little bit of ammo. Instead of wasting it. Just try to imagine how much bullshit they told us about the pyramids, about religion, about our origins. Any stupid fuck try to invent the fucking wheel all over the game, all over, like what? All these fucking religions are so meaningless. It's like it's based on the same, I don't know, same things. It's not something that is like, there's nothing special in any of them. One of them wants profit, one has like 3-4 profits, the other has like 10 profits. What's the point of it? It looks to me like religion is just another genre of politics. Really bad genre of politics. Like the bad kind of politics. They just manage you. That's what it's about. They tell you about some, like, tell you a couple stories about this and that and this prophet, and he did 1, 2, 3, 4. And then God came up to him and told him, save us. Do this, do that. And back then, people were innocent. Like in the innocent in the intellectually. They would believe anything. You can tell them there's like an invisible ghost living in the sky that watches your every move, and he's with you anywhere, anytime. When you're experiencing hard stuff, it means he's testing you. And if you have a good time, you're living in his grace. Okay. If you say so. You can believe whatever you want. I don't blame you. In fact, I think you should. I think you should. It's healthy to have something to hold on to. Yeah, it is. Just don't get used to it. It's not an answer to anything. Well, let's see what the pyramids has to say. Yeah, let's do this.
What? Everybody who studies this says the cherry on top are the pyramids, but it's really this underground city that they're studying.
There's a 40-meter object that's in that labyrinth, that's in some vast corridor, that's metallic. It's a f***ing UFO.
And now we have 3-fingered mummies in Peru.
We might have actual evidence that there's another species that shares this planet with us. The same problem that we have with UAP disclosure is the same problem you have with the Epstein files.
Who do you think runs our government?
Nixon apparently had been saying, I know who killed JFK and I know why they did it.
And then you have people like Elon Musk on who they run SpaceX. You would think he would be completely privy to all of our UFO secrets.
He's a sly dog. He's my homie, but he's a sly dog.
If he was debating like in a room with David Grush on your show, the CIA guy was like, look at the Grush stuff, quantum, and AI. Do you think there's something happening where all these trends are converging now simultaneously and it's not a coincidence?
when we achieve sentience with artificial general superintelligence, that is the legitimate gateway to the cosmos. And if you really want to get weird, that might be how God gets formed. Like, God might be a real thing. That might be how God gets formed. And that might be the whole reason why human beings have curiosity and this insatiable desire for technological innovation. Jesus was born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer?
What the fuck are you talking about?
This is beyond surreal. I've had some surreal moments on the show, but I think this tops them all. Joe, I really appreciate you being here, man. I don't think I would have a show if it weren't for the thousands of hours of insights I've gleaned from your show. And you don't have to do this, and you do stuff like this all the time, and it just means so much to me that you're here. So I really, really appreciate you.
Well, it's my pleasure. I really love your show. So it's exciting for me to be here.
Means a lot, man. Well, I want to actually start with, you had a dream.
Yeah.
And this was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You had Brett Weinstein on, great evolutionary biologist, and you started off the episode with this trippy dream you had. You want to describe it?
It was the weirdest dream I've ever had in my life because it was the most realistic dream and is the only dream that I can ever remember. I sleep really well. Like, I'm one of those guys, I can go to sleep on a pile of rocks. I can always sleep. It drives my wife crazy because she has a hard time sleeping and I can just conk out. I could not go back to sleep. It's the only dream I can remember that I couldn't go back to sleep. I don't think I've ever had that happen to me before. Where I woke up at like 3 a.m. or whatever it was, and I was like, I'm up now. Like, there's no way. I laid in bed, I think, for like an hour, and then I just went to the gym. I was like, there's no way I'm going back to sleep.
There you go.
It was very strange. It was very strange because it was like, what is this? It wasn't like a regular dream, like, oh, you're dreaming. It seems like vague and weird and kind of, opaque. It was vivid. It was very strange. And there was these very slender, tall, human-like things that were talking to me. They weren't gray. They were kind of like pinkish, like us. They were, like Caucasian-looking creatures. But they were messing with me. Like, they scared me, and they're like, we're just playing around. And so they were doing there was some weird kind of communication telling me to relax. And,
I'm gonna continue this shit. That's interesting, though. Aliens and shit. I do believe they're not exactly how you say it, like aliens. That's not what we think it is. It's gotta be something else. What you think? It's impossible if we're alone here. That we made all this progress by ourselves. Technology and all that shit. Can't be that naive. Think that this is because none of it was normal, you know? Like, the jump was too high from being fucking monkeys to whatever we are now. One day you're starting a fucking fire with 2 rocks, and the other day you're holding like iPhone 17 with AI in it. Fucking thinking computer that can analysis your whole fucking life. Hey, земляк! I don't know about you, it's fucking weird. It's weird, and it can't be that easy. Can't be that easy. can't really explain it and say, no, humanity just advanced with time and it's normal. It's not. The jump was too high. I don't think so. I don't think we did it by ourselves.
Вроде никого. Вот он! Гнида!
Shit.
Вон он! Гей!
Shut up. Don't fucking die on me. Okay. Relax. 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 We're okay. It's Sanadon's crew. Gotta get out of this. Easy, buddy. Easy, buddy. Gonna bring all the limbs in. And go to war. That was a close one. Okay. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Okay. We're gonna speed it up and then we're gonna... Shit, I thought it was regular scavs. It's one of these assholes, huh?
Вон он, сука!
On my phone? מיקי, מה אומר?
איך אתה?
וואלה, חי את החלום, איך אתה?
גם חי את החלום, סיימתי את כל הלימודים.
מילא.
סיימתי את המערכת. כן, אחי, היה שווה. סיימתי עכשיו את העבודה האחרונה לפני חצי שעה.
מה?
בהחלט היה שווה.
כן?
כן, כן, כן.
יופי, יופי.
התגעגעתי לי.
וואלה. בסבבי.
אוקיי, אני עוד מעט יוצא עוד איזה שעה וחצי. הולכים לאכול לכבוד ולנטיין. הולכים לאכול לכבוד ולנטיין.
מה, אצל ההורים?
מה פתאום? במסעדה, אני בעיראק.
מסעדה זה תמיד טוב.
כן, כן, לא, מסעדה, מה קרה לך? ההורים שלי, כאילו, ההורים שלי הלוואי, אבל אי אפשר. תודה רבה. כמו יצאתי עליה קצת, התקשרה עליה בלילה, ב1:30 בלילה.
רגע. מה קרה?
Come. I'm empty. Send it on to my little friend. Get down, grenade! Сука! Enemy frag!
Okay. Where were we?
The environment was very different too. It was very vivid. It was like some sort of a corridor, but it didn't seem normal. It seemed very strange. Like I remember the walls were lit very weird. And I also remember that there was some sort of water and reptilian element to this. Like they were letting me know, like almost like they had barriers that were very sloppy that were keeping these things out, but they were doing their best. They had people or beings like monitoring and feeding these things and keeping them out. And I was like, what is going on here? And it's like, is this telling me that they're doing their best to keep something from getting to us, but that it's not that secure, that it's kind of precarious and a lot more unstable than we would like to think it is? I don't know what that was all about. That part of it was really weird. That part of it was more dream-like, but the communication with them and the interaction with them was very, very vivid. It was really strange. They had larger eyes than a normal human and a larger head, but not crazy. Like, not like a Gray from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Kind of a little bit like that guy up there.
Oh, interesting.
not quite so big, but like a large head with a very small jaw. And larger eyes than normal. But they were smiling. God, I can't remember if they had teeth. I think they had teeth. I can't remember.
Does any part of you think this actually happened, or do you think it was just a dream? Wow.
You know, I don't want to be that guy that like, oh, I know it was real, because I don't.
Yeah.
I was dreaming. I was sleeping.
Yeah.
But it was the most vivid dream I've ever had in my life.
I was telling you outside, you're wearing this epic Betty and Barney Hill.
Oh, geez.
Oh, geez. First abductees, 1961.
You know, I know his granddaughter.
Yeah, is she Angela Hill, right?
Yeah.
She's a UFC fighter?
Yeah.
So cool.
Crazy.
What does she say?
She did my podcast and didn't tell me until after the podcast was over.
You don't tell Joe Rogan?
Her grandfather was Barney Hill. I was like, no, that's mad. That's so crazy.
Did you not say, let's go back in and record?
No, it was already too late. We wrapped it up and everything. I should have, though. I should have.
You got to have her back.
Yeah, I should have. I should have done it then.
That is wild.
Looking back, that was a mistake.
Well, I thought, because you wore this, I think, on the Gavin DeBecker episode, which is a crazy episode. Everybody should go watch this episode. This guy protects like the most important people in the world.
Yeah.
And he's going through all these crazy CIA conspiracies, basically talks about Fauci's role in the AIDS epidemic as kind of analogous to what he did around COVID. A lot of the f***ery, you know, being kind of the same.
Very similar.
And you're hearing it from this guy who like protects incredibly important people, does risk assessments for these, you know, massive events.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, very wild. Yeah. But yeah, he didn't know what this was.
I thought you were maybe signaling to the audience like, maybe I got abducted or something.
No, I don't think I got abducted. I don't even know if I got contacted. It just might have been the craziest dream. And to me, because I'm so into the whole UAP, UFO, alien phenomenon, that maybe, maybe it was just very vivid because of that. It's just very odd for me to not be able to go back to sleep. That never happens. I can sleep no matter what. It's weird.
Well, so whatever it was, it had kind of a disproportionate impact on your psyche. Like it was a big part of your subconscious.
It was tangible. It was like when I woke up, I was like, what was that? It wasn't like, whoa, that dream was fucked, which I've had before. I had last night. I had a crazy dream last night, but it was a normal dream. It was just I got up to pee, and I was like, what the hell was that? And I went right back to bed. This, I was not going to sleep, man. I laid in bed for a full hour, just trying to go to sleep. And then I said, all right, I'm up. Let's just go to the gym. And I'm in the gym, and I'm trying to decide, because I knew I had Brett Weinstein on the podcast, and I was like,
Jesus Christ!
I have to just say this immediately, like, because we're going to get into so many different subjects. There's no way I'm going to work this in. Like, I just have to get to this right away, because I just had to sort of document it while it was only a few hours old, while it was fresh.
And some dreams are like you wake up from them and you're like still in the dream a little bit. You have to like kind of get it. There's something cathartic about retelling it or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird, man. I don't know what it was.
You said you thought they were beings from the future, maybe?
That's what, if I had to guess, like what they are, they seemed like what we will be. Like we are, as time goes on, if you look at ancient hominids versus modern humans, our heads are larger, our bodies are smaller. They're more slender. There's no need for muscle. There's no need to physically move things. These things seem very slim. They seem very slim, and God, I want to say they weren't naked, right? But they had like some sort of a suit on, but they were very genderless. Like there was no defining that's a boy, that one's a girl. There was none of that.
Which feels like where humanity is kind of headed.
Yeah. Which look, I like being a man. Yeah. And I like women. I think they're fun. I like the contrast. It's fun having a variety of different kinds of people. But it causes problems, right? Because we have these procreation, reproduction instincts. We have primate instincts to be tribal, to acquire resources, to dominate, and to be untrustful of others. There's a lot of stuff it makes you be.
Okay. Fucking Tarkov. I don't even know what that means. You know what that means, What else?
Гнида! Девка! Что, забыл?
Come on. We're good. We're good. We caught it on time. Let's fill it up and go in. Oh!
Разбегаемся! Разбегаемся! Вас экспорт надо! Россия стреляет Вон он, сука!
Come on.
Я по нуле, пиздец!
It's okay. It's okay. You're gonna stand outside and wait for me to attack him. It's not gonna happen, 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 not gonna happen. Oh!
Что за хрень?
Just when you got comfortable, huh? I think I killed them all. I believe I did. Gus. Go! Nothing like headshots, huh? What? There. Really big bag, and we need a big bag. Where's Gus anyway? What do you have? Give me the shot. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Show me the money. $100 rounds, huh?
Кепка, кепка!
Go! What are you using though? FMJ? Fuck you. You're gonna carry an FMJ. You can keep it. You can keep your FMJ. You use this one though.
Contact!
No! No contact here. Where extraction is Expo? No. Courtyard. Buddy. Half a mil, this shit. Phew. Nine. You think what's his name is here also? Kolontai. Would be cool to kill him too. Вали кепку. Тут нашу вас завалили. Holy shit. What the hell happened here? Like him, nothing like him M4. Nothing. Just up to the task. Too perfect. Oh! I'm gonna reload my mag. does fucking damage to armor. Like level 4. What? Headshot, it decimates you. It's already good. I'm gonna be out of ammo when I finish this one. I'm carrying 4 grenades for an unknown reason. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Sniper. Where? Was a sniper.
На, блядь, жри, сука! Гнида! Игрушка летит!
Fuck is he? He's behind that wall.
Стороны!
Okay.
Я...
Fuck this
Ах
idiot.
ты, хер!
Holy shit. Holy shit.
ты куда пошел? Левый карман.
Holy crap. Oh, come on. Yeah.
A human kind of cool because out of that you get art and you get incredible history and like amazing architecture and all these things, but it also it's a fork in the road. Like that is the kind of the bottleneck as a human being is our natural biological reproduction.
Yes.
And because it lends itself to all these things that you see, like when bears fight over, a breeding female, or when you see deers clash antlers together. Like, what are they doing? They're battling over who gets to breed.
Totally.
And I think that's a lot of what humans do. And we do it in weird ways. Like we acquire immense amounts of financial wealth, or, the fanciest watch and the fanciest car. And you try to look like someone would want to mate with. And that's really all it is like, men and women want to be desired by the opposite sex or the same sex, if that's what you're into. But it's that procreation thing is what fuels a lot of our bullshit and a lot of our inability to get along, a lot of conflict, and a lot of acquiring resources through horrific and barbaric ways and dominating countries and invading. That's what it's all about. It's a lot of it is just about breeding.
And it is that like limbic reptilian part of ourselves that does that. And so I wonder, not to like do a full Jungian analysis of this dream, but it's like they're holding these reptilians at bay in the water or something, and maybe there's something.
It seemed very symbolic, whatever it was, because it was the only part of the dream that was kind of vague. Like they were kind of like crocodiles or something, but it was weird. Like they were feeding them, but they had like flimsy barriers in front of these things to keep, and they were like keeping them. It was almost like letting me know, like, hey, this is you're really close to getting fucked up, and we're doing our best to stop this from happening. But that's just me reading into it. But whatever it was, they were very clearly trying to scare me and then play. We were just kidding. Everything was like, whoa, just messing around. There was a couple of those moments where I was like, okay, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get me accustomed to interacting with you?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Because I was very weirded out. And I think they're whatever they were wearing, because I think they were wearing something. But they were, like I said, they were very genderless. Whatever they were wearing was the same color as their skin. So it was strange.
You've been asked a lot about your childhood. Everybody knows you were 4 years in a row Taekwondo champion. That discipline brought you to where you are today in many ways. Everybody knows you're UFO obsessed now.
Yeah.
Was there a moment in childhood where you kind of got alien pilled or saw something, or?
No, unfortunately, I never saw anything. I wish. I kind of thought I did maybe when I was young, but I think it was probably a fighter jet. From the time I was little, I would look up at the stars and I would just think, well, clearly this can't be the only planet that has life on it. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. And then, going to school and you learn out how many hundreds of billions of galaxies there are. You're like, whoa, okay. And how many hundreds of billions of stars there are in those galaxies, and how many planets there must be. Like, for sure there's something else out here, but like, would they be interested in us? Would they visit? And, then I got really into Project Blue Book, and I read a lot of the stuff on J. Allen Hynek, and and all of the Philip Corso stuff and the stuff from Roswell, and I just became obsessed with reading and watching whatever flimsy documentaries were available back then. And then I think I really got back, because I was always on the fence, like, oh, this is nonsense. This is real. This is not, it's not helping me. Let me just go about my life. And then really Jeremy Corbell's Roswell, Area 51 Bob Lazar documentary is what really brought me back in.
Yeah, and that ended up being one of your most iconic episodes. I believe it's like your second or third highest
It might be the
performing.
biggest. It might be the highest one on YouTube. I think it has like 63 million views on YouTube.
It's so crazy.
That one's nuts. That one's nuts, especially considering from that interview, which was what was that, 2000, maybe 18 or something like that. Whatever it was, more and more has come out that substantiates what he said and confirms a lot of the stuff that he was talking about in the 1980s in terms of the design of these crafts, how they manipulate gravity around them, and how they move through space with a very strange propulsion system. And that's what we're hearing over and over again now from these whistleblowers and from these people like Hal Puthoff and all these people that allegedly have information about these back engineering programs, that this is what he's saying is very accurate.
And it's almost like you broke the most gnarly story there was, and a lot of these kind of people who are now in the forefront of disclosure trying to play catch up in some ways, because you have a guy who's claiming to have reverse engineered craft firsthand.
Yeah.
And now you have people, saying, we do have biologics. We have, you have David Grush giving 40 firsthand, whistleblowers to the Inspector General of the intelligence community, Thomas Mannheim, and he says it's urgent and credible. It's this crazy sort of groundswell, but in many ways we're playing catch up to this guy who was like there at Area 51 in the 80s.
They've tried to discredit him in many different ways. They tried to say, first of all, that he never worked at Los Alamos, but that's been confirmed. Yeah. And then they tried to say that he was never at Area S4 or Area 51 Site 4, but he was there and he knew it. He knew the layout.
Everything.
He knew people that worked there. People that did work there also confirmed that he worked there.
Originally, I told you, when I worked there, I was on the front page of the paper. So they were still able to archive, bring that back from the archives. And, Bob Lazar, a physicist working here at Los Alamos. So there was at least something there. But somehow George came up with the phone directory.
And then then Bob took George with cameras into Los Alamos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we flew out there and I said, look, come on in. I'll show you where I worked. We'll go in. We'll meet people. And George went with me.
Janet Airlines, which takes you back and forth between Vegas and Area 51. Area 51 wasn't even really in the public zeitgeist until he came out with it.
It actually wasn't even confirmed until the Obama administration, because the Obama administration, they wanted to expand the barriers for entry, or where people were allowed to access the land, because too many people were getting to non-secure land and taking video. So they were filming and taking photographs allegedly of these crafts, and so they wanted to make it a little bit wider, and so they had to confirm that it existed.
So wild. I think we're gonna, so there's a buddy of mine's making a documentary with Bob Lazar. It's called Project Gravatar, and I think we're gonna get a lot more confirmation and data points that
הכל הסתבך עם קרן שלי שעברנו לגור ביחד. פה רבנו על חשבונות וכסף. רבנו כל כך חזק.
corroborates his story, your interview of him. I think we're gonna find out that S4 is very real too, and that's been denied up until today.
Well, we do have satellite images of S4.
Do we?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe there's images of the land itself, and you can
because underground.
But there's the outside of it where the hangars are. I'm pretty sure you could actually get it online. It might be bullshit. It might be bullshit.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure there is an overhead, like where you could see, oh, there's something there.
Okay. Well, so if it's the same thing I'm thinking of, then he has that data, but it's like stuff they tried to cover up on Google Earth.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it's like that Point Doom alien base that they erased or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, that is weird.
Weird.
That's so weird because they blurred out the ground in the water.
I hope everyone's enjoying what is certainly one of the most legendary American Alchemy episodes yet, featuring the one and only Joe Rogan. For an episode like this, I wanted to work with Thorn and Royal Jelly. That
I had Dan Farah on the podcast yesterday.
How was that?
It was great. For people who don't know, Dan made this new documentary, The Age of Disclosure, which is excellent. It's one of the very best documentaries on the whole UAP, UFO phenomenon that I think I've ever seen. And there's no real footage in it, maybe a couple minutes of footage of like the Go Fast or the gimbal. But really, most of what it's about is high-level intelligence operatives explaining what they know and
extremely
what they've been
high
told.
level.
Yes.
People like Woolsey and James Clapper, like
Yes.
these guys who are like DNI level, like overseeing all of the intel agencies, Brennan,
Yes.
you know, all these people. And
Marco
presidents,
Rubio, to his credit, I think his involvement was huge, you know, because it's the current administration, his involvement and his urgency.
Schumer, Rubio, all those guys are like, look, a bunch of freaking high-level officers came to us, and either they're crazy or this shit's real.
Most of these people at some point, or maybe even currently, have held very high clearances and high positions within our government.
So this is one of the things that Dan and I talked about. He firmly believes that both the United States and China has retrieved these crashed vehicles, and that they are also in this back engineering program. They're in a back engineering program of their own, and there is a race. And he, you know, people talk about it like it's the Manhattan Project on steroids, but I've heard that about AI too, right? But which might also be true, and they might also be connected in some way. I think what Rubio is concerned with is that China develops this technology first. And the only way that the United States is really going to catch up is if we open this up. And we open it up and remove all the ridicule, because forever, look, I'm a silly person, so it's easy to make fun of me. And I don't mind. I mean, literally professional comedian. So I'll say stupid shit and not worry, like, oh, people are going to think you're an idiot. I'm like, I'll tell you I'm an idiot. You don't have to, like, look to see if I'm an idiot.
I think you're much smarter than you give yourself credit for.
Listen, I know really smart people. It's relative.
Yeah,
it's all relative.
You got that, like, that general breadth of knowledge. Like, not too many people are at your level, man. Like,
yeah, but it's also, you know what it's like? It's like people say, like, oh man, you must be an amazing fighter. I'm like, listen, I work for the UFC. I'm around dudes who can kill me every single day I work there. Every one of them can kill me, no questions asked. Like, compared to a regular person, but to an untrained person, that's how I look at intelligence. It's like, I'm not as dumb as the dumbest people I know, but I know Elon's a friend of mine. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm friends with a lot of, like, very brilliant people. There's levels to this thing, you know. Like, I had Palmer Luckey on the podcast the other day. Yeah, you start talking to him, you go, oh, okay. Well, there's levels to this, you know. And there's really fucking smart people in this world, and I'm not one of them. But I'm smart enough to know what I know, and I'm smart enough to not be afraid of people thinking that I'm not smart. So the subject has always been, like, very ridiculed, and you could, like, really fumble your career if you went out and said, if you were a journalist or if you were, like, a legitimate author, or like look at Whitley Strieber.
Yep.
I don't know what happened to that dude.
Yep.
But I know that everybody, like, sort of dismisses him as a kook in the real literature world, because he's this guy who made these movies and books about being abducted by aliens. What? You know what I mean? So you immediately get this, like, smell of kook that's on you. And I think Marco Rubio talking about this and explaining, like, this is what I've been told, this is what I know, this is a real thing. There are vehicles the size of a football field that are moving through the ocean at 500 knots. We have no idea where they're going. You know, Tim Burchett recently said that they've identified 5 areas in the oceans of the world where these things are coming out of on a regular basis.
We have a higher propensity of sightings around these 5 or 6, I believe, deep water areas.
So you've got these people talking about this, and it's slowly but surely removing that layer of ridicule. And that layer of ridicule is powerful, man. People don't like to be thought of as a fool, you know, and I think that holds us back. And if the United States, like, if first of all, they're going to need some sort of an amnesty thing. This is one of the things that we talked about. They're going to need, because for sure there was lying to Congress, for sure there's misappropriation of funds, and probably some corruption. Like, when you have no oversight, billions, if not $1 trillion, like, for sure somebody got some money they shouldn't have got. You're going to have to make all that okay. You're going to have to say, in the interest of national security and the future of the human race, fuck all that. You're going to have to do that. And if they don't do that, we're going to have a real problem, because these gatekeepers are going to continue to gatekeep, because their lives depend on this.
Yeah.
If they release this, they could find themselves in jail without any amnesty, in jail for the rest of their lives. Like, we don't know how much money was spent. We don't know how much lying to Congress there was. We have no idea how many felonies there were. We don't have no idea. Let's assume that crash retrieval programs were real and that back engineering programs were successful. So you're not going to give this stuff evenly to all these different defense contractors. So if you give one defense contractor one object and all of a sudden they have this massive advantage, and then the other defense contractor winds up going under, as many of them have gone out of business, well, now you have a major lawsuit on your hands. You know, you have all sorts of, and then probably people are going to go to jail if it's a just legal system.
בסמארט פיוטר של דיסקונט תראו בקלות את מה שקשור לפנסיה שלכם, גם אם אתם עסוקים.
100%. Yeah. And for, I think, the cynics out there who might just want to put a minus sign against anybody coming from the intelligence world and saying things, we're not even necessarily being idealistic about their motivations. We're just saying that it's probably national security runs the day, and that this might be the Manhattan Project 2.0. If you think about it, the first Manhattan Project was payload potency. It was bigger and bigger bombs.
Okay. Let's see. The real reason scientists know we're in simulation. Ooh, I love this.
I spend so long these days thinking and talking to people about what all of this means. And I've got more and more. I saw you talking about the simulation theory once or twice. And I started to fall into that, that whole of thinking.
Oh, yes. It's, you got to, step outside every now and then and, smell the roses.
But you said you wouldn't be surprised if people found out the universe is simulated by some sort of advanced life form.
Yeah. Given what we can now compute, throw in quantum computing on top of that. We don't have this power yet, but to make a world in our computer where the characters in that world believe they have free will. And then they conduct themselves, and then they invent computers, and then they make a world inside of their computer. And where their characters think they have free will. And then then it's simulated universes all the way down. And close your eyes and throw a dart. Which of these, are you going to get the first universe that invented the simulated universe, or the zillion ones that followed? The dart's likely to hit one of the others. But my escape hatch from that is, since we do not yet know or have the power to make a perfectly simulated world, it means we are either the first universe that's real that hasn't created one yet, or we're the last universe that hasn't evolved yet to have created one of its own. Because all the middles have the power to create one. So that takes it, a zillion to one against us to maybe 50-50.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Never heard that before.
So I'm a little more comfortable that way.
Comfortable.
Yeah. I sleep a little better at night.
But I guess it wouldn't matter anyway if we
it wouldn't matter if we're completely simulated. What do you care? You're living your life. I know we don't want to believe that there are puppet strings on us. Part of me thinks that, though. Just when Earth is everything on Earth is kind of stable. Oh, COVID shows up. Oh, so this is the programmer saying, the Earth is too boring now. We got to spice it up a bit. They throw in a pandemic. Okay, a once in a century pandemic. Now we're entertaining for them. What do we do? Who gets vaccinated? Who doesn't? Who's going to fight? Who dies? Who lives? Okay, so then we kind of get through that. We get the vaccine. Okay, we're just calming down off of that. And they said, oh, let's make a billionaire real estate developer from New York City the most powerful person in the world. Let's stir the pot again. And so now there's a whole other set of pot stirring that's going on. So that's kind of consistent with...
מתמידים בחדשנות כדי לעזור לחיות המחמד לשמור על הבריאות לאורך זמן. הילס, לתת יותר בזכות המדע.
A snot-nosed alien kid in the parents' basement programming our existence. That's what I would do. I would throw in There's a game, Sim City.
Yeah.
I played that. That's how old I am. Sim City. So you are mayor of this city, and people can vote you out of office. So you have to do things that make them happy. And there's an opinion poll that's there. And if you spend too much money here, you're not spending money on the schools. That's bad. But then as crime goes up, and you're realizing, oh my gosh, in even this simple simulation, so many interdependent phenomenon are taking place. Then things that happen, then Godzilla steps through and plows through the city. Okay, now Godzilla's not real, but it kind of is, because that would be a disaster. Is it a flood? Is it fires? It's a thing that nobody saw coming. Okay, we are recording this interview on September 11th. I live 4 blocks from Ground Zero. That's Godzilla walking through the city. Well, how do you respond to that? You didn't know that was going to happen the day before. So realizing that in this game, it's only interesting to play when disastrous things happen, not too many in a row, because you have to be able to recover. So when I look at our world, I'm thinking the best argument I have for being in a simulation is how often some big disaster takes place. When it was the first World War, and then after that, the peace, pandemic, okay? The 1918 flu pandemic. And then we get out of that, Second World War. Okay, we get out of that. It's the Cold War, nuclear holocaust. Okay, so that's that's me looking over the shoulder of the programmer.
Oh, God. I think I prefer the world where I feel like I have free will and there's not.
Does it make a difference if you believe you have free will, even if you don't?
No, because I'll never know.
And the fun answer to that, ask me, say, do you have free will? Ask me that.
Do we have free will? Do you have free will?
What choice do I have? No, if you don't have free will, then you don't even have an option to say you don't. So you just live life. Just live your life so that the world is better off for you having lived in it.
And what does that mean for you?
It means people are better off. The institutions are better off. People are happier, healthier, wealthier, safer, better fed. That rationality matters in politics and lawmaking. And that will help to ensure stability of anything you build going forward. But yeah, that's all I mean. It's not complicated. And you were talking about meaning before. No. I stopped looking for meaning decades ago because I realized we, any of us, has the power to make meaning in life. Yeah. If you're going to look for meaning, are you looking under a rock, behind a tree? It's as though meaning is sitting there waiting for you to find it. Oh, I found meaning. There it is. Now my life is complete. That feels so powerless on your own destiny. Whereas I make meaning. I want to learn something today that I didn't know yesterday. I want to lessen the suffering of someone today compared with however that person was living yesterday. I want to use what I learned.
Yeah, well, meaning is kind of...
Grenade out!
2, though.
To well up within me and manifest as wisdom. Because information is not really useful until it becomes knowledge. And then knowledge is good. You can show off if you have a lot of knowledge. That's what these game shows do. But in the end, the best use of knowledge is when it becomes wisdom.
1.
And wisdom, people say, oh, I don't like getting older. I want to be young again. I don't want to be young again. When I was 30, I was an idiot. Even when I was 30, I thought I was brilliant, right? So don't get older unless you have wisdom to show for it. It's when you don't have something to show for your age, you want to be younger. You're just getting old with nothing to show for it. But I continue to learn things every day, passively and actively. Passively is you just notice, open your eyes sometimes and see what's happening, where things are headed, what they're doing. You learn. Not all things you learn are good. And if they're bad or need adjustment or need help, do something about it if you can. So that's how I derive meaning. Hence my tombstone. Be ashamed to die unless you've scored some victory for humanity. There's the meaning for you.
There's a whole class of billionaires that are trying to live forever now. And I think we are on the verge of being able to extend life potentially indefinitely.
Yeah, we're looking for the date. It's called the escape velocity. Do you know about that phrase? It exists in astrophysics, of course, but the escape velocity for Earth, for example, is 7 miles per second. So escape velocity in astrophysics is the speed that you launch something so that it never comes back, no matter how hard the gravity tries. Okay, so every object has an escape velocity. The escape velocity in aging is, the idea is there is a generation yet to be born, but in the very near future, who will not only live longer than the previous generation. So here's a cleaner way to say this. Every year, you can expect to live 1 month longer because knowledge about human physiology has gotten better. Okay? Just think about it that way.
Yeah.
And so we know what to eat, what not to eat, how to exercise, how to not over-exercise, how to maintain your health, your health and physiology. All right. There will come a day where every year that you're alive, medicine has figured out a way for you to live an extra year. That's the escape velocity. So every year you live another year. And after that, it could be every year you live 2 years. So that's the escape velocity. So it's not just everybody lives forever today. It sort of works its way into the population. And yeah, I don't want to live forever. I don't.
What's the point of living?
Take me off this earth.
Bullshit. Nobody would love. Nobody would want to live forever. Nobody's sane, at least. Nobody sane would want to live forever. I wouldn't. Hell, I don't want to live to 40. Life is cruel. Imagine that you don't die. 450. Come on. $500. Oh! What a great shot. Oh my God. You see this? Okay, Swan Guard. Come on. Come on, one of them gotta get him. At least injure him or something. Did it? on. Come on. I'll get him. Fuck! Yes! Yes! Oh my god. Did you see that? 0 to 150. Oh! Bring any heals. Is that his friends? Get. Who the hell shot at me? Fucking partisan. No way. Fucking partisan is back. I can't hear anything. Still there? Am I the best boss killer in the game?
What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee.
auto. Shit. One tap. Bye-bye. Ooh-wee. What's up with that? Holy shit. I shot him from way over there. Way over there. Where's the third? Fight bears. What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh. got headshotted by me. Shot this guy in the head. Who's this? Oh, you got attacked by bears. Got it. Bear. You are missing a god here. Almost death to glorious battle. This is a good run. This is a very good run. What's up with that? What's up with that? You looted everybody. At least I thought so. Where's the other sniper? No traces of the other guy. He's supposed to be the last guy around here. Very great. Not too bad. I'm missing a god. I'm missing a god and somebody killed him or he's in a different location. Gotta keep my guard up. No biggie, no biggie. I'm tired of this green screen. I need to adjust it every now and then just to give this That's it. It was the shadow of my steering pin. Steering wheel simulator system. I don't know what you call it. This is what you get. This is what you get when you mess with us. With us. Dun, 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 dun. Proof we're in a simulation. I would like to hear that. I would love.
AI's power demands are.
Okay, let's see what's the record of the shots that we took. I want to know. Oh. 446 meters. God damn. Damn. Boss. Strokes. Oh, he bled to death. Really? That's awesome. This is what you get when you mess with us. Partisan headshot. Yeah, of course. Of course, it was easy peasy, lemon squeezy till hasteezy.
Critical crossroads in our evolution. You're going to see the emergence of a new human species, maybe extrasensory perception and remote viewing and all of that.
We've spoken to people who inexplicably see auras around people. They see energy.
It's the electromagnetic field. We only see things that we believe in. So seeing is not believing, it's the other way around. The way you're conditioned in your childhood determines how you see the world. So what's the world before you've been conditioned to see it?
There are things that we cannot measure that do exist and are real.
Everyone who's listening to this, their frontal cortex right now is changing as we speak. If we realize that everything material is an illusion, then who is creating the illusion? Are we participants in the creation of the universe, literally? I went to New Jersey to interview a kid. And the mother said he can read my mind.
You were the original telepathy tapes?
I was the original. So you know how that started.
Hi, I'm Mayim Bialik.
I'm Jonathan Cohen.
And welcome to a very special MBB Explores. We got a lot to explore today. Today, we are exploring
the totality of the universe.
And if that's the biggest thing we're exploring, the smallest thing we're exploring is you, the atoms that you are made of, the consciousness that you have, and the ability that you have to think and understand outside of a material existence. Now, this all might sound like, what is going on? What if we were to tell you AI is part of this conversation? And what if we were to tell you that Deepak Chopra himself is going to explain to us both the biggest concepts in the universe and the most intimate concepts in the universe? We have him here today to help us break down all things digital. We're going to gain an understanding of extrasensory ability. We're going to talk about telepathy. We're going to talk about the psychic, physical, and spiritual implications of thinking about not only life on other planets, but potential probability of our existence in other forms in the universe.
This is both metaphysical and highly scientific.
Dr. Chopra is going to talk to us about how we are at a critical evolutionary crossroads and why the next 20 years of our experience will shape the future in ways none of us could have predicted.
Humans are evolving. We are becoming meta-humans.
Some of us faster than others. We also want to direct you to cyberhuman.ai, which is the brainchild of Dr. Chopra, and it's a groundbreaking platform that merges ancient wisdom with modern science. So these two platforms would be really, really incredible for you to kind of poke around in after you listen to this conversation. Let us welcome in person Dr. Deepak Chopra. We got to speak to you before, virtually. We never thought we'd get to speak to you in person, so thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We have a funny question for you. Why did you want to talk to us again?
Well, because I enjoyed the last one.
We were hoping that was true.
Yeah, it is true.
You're doing a tremendous amount of work in the digital space, in people's understanding of AI. And we touched on it in our first conversation with you, but I'd love the opportunity to kind of flesh it out more. I think a lot of people maybe don't understand how AI practically applies to wellness. And maybe we could start with you talking about sort of the reasons for introducing AI into this conversation. So you talk about waking up. What does it mean to wake up? Can you kind of lay out for us the problem, right? What we need to wake up from, and then we can get into how AI helps that.
It's a very interesting question and a very complicated answer. So if you Google or go on any online database and you ask the following question, what are the 125 open questions in science? So the first open question in science is, what's the universe made of? So that's the first open question.
Easy one, right?
Yeah, let's start with the easiest.
Yeah, now you would say we know what the universe is made of. Atoms, molecules, force fields, gravity, electromagnetism, all the things that science talks about.
Unicorns.
Yes, maybe. Here's the dilemma. 70% of the universe is a mysterious force called dark energy. And we have no idea what it is. Einstein described it as the cosmological constant. And then he said, oh, it's one of my biggest blunders. But actually, he was right on, as usual. You know, Einstein used to doubt his own theories, and then they turned out to be right. For example, in 1935, he spoke about entanglement. Then he said, no, it's not possible. Spooky action at a distance. He ridiculed his own findings, but he was right. So 70% is this thing that we have no idea. It's the opposite of gravity. And the universe right now, as we sit here, is expanding faster than the speed of light, which is, again, a violation.
Can you talk us through the opposite of gravity?
Yes, so gravity brings things together. And this force expands things. So it's the opposite. So right now, as we are sitting here, the universe, the space between galaxies is expanding faster than the speed of light. So the cosmic horizon, which is from here, where we are sitting, is about 50 billion light years away from us. And galaxies are tumbling across that into the unknowable. Okay, because by the time light gets from there to here, our solar system won't exist. It will have burnt itself up into the heat death of absolute zero. That's 70% of the universe, which we don't know. Whatever this force is, it's not atomic, and you and I are made of atoms. So that leaves 30% of the universe that is remaining. Of that, 27% is another mysterious energy called mysterious entity called dark matter. So dark matter is invisible. This matter, this table, my body, it's visible. And the reason it's visible is made of atoms. We are made of atoms. Dark matter doesn't reflect light, absorb light, emit light, or whatever. So we don't know what it is. So why do we call it matter? Because it's responsible for most of the gravity in the universe. If you didn't have dark matter, planets would spiral off and get lost in intergalactic space, and you and I wouldn't be there.
I mean, it's been a minute since I've studied physics. How do we know it's there?
We actually only surmise it's there by its gravitational effects.
Got it.
And right now, there are a lot of places in the world that are looking for it through technologies under the ground, and they have a hypothetical entity to describe molecules. It's called a WIMP, weakly interactive massive particles. Okay, but nobody's seen a WIMP. Now you have 3% remaining, which is atomic. Of that, 99.999% is invisible interstellar dust, probably hydrogen and helium, which was created at the Big Bang, according to current scientific models.
Come on, man.
So the visible universe, which is 2 trillion galaxies.
What we're interacting with, in theory.
Yeah. The visible universe, 2 trillion galaxies, 700 sextillion stars, and according to the James Webb Telescope right now, probably 60 billion habitable planets in the Milky Way galaxy. Multiply that by 2 trillion galaxies, you have habitable planets. The whole universe is teeming with life as we know life. So if a planet is very close to its sun, too hot, too far, too cold, no life. But then there have to be other things like the right amount of gravitational, electromagnetic constants. That visible universe is 0.01%. The rest is unknown or unknowable. Unknowable because if it's not atomic, how do you know what it is? You can't interact with it. Now, here's the problem. The 0.01% that's visible, which is made of atoms, 2 trillion galaxies, as you know, that atoms made of particles, and particles, when you observe them, they have a location in space-time. When you don't observe them, they disappear into waves. Mm-hmm. And if you ask people, what are these waves made of? They're actually mathematical constructs. Mm-hmm. They don't actually exist anywhere except in mathematical imagination. So bottom line, what's the universe made of? We don't know. And the only guess we have, it's made of nothing. So it's a
and that's the bedtime story that Deepak Chopra just read to you.
It's a free lunch, basically. Wow. Now, that's the visible, we don't know what the universe is made of, other than it's made of nothing, which leads to the second open question in science, which is, if it's made of nothing, why does it look like this? Why does it look like you, me, this table, the stars, the galaxies, the mountains, and the...
Why do I have so many feelings if we're made of nothing?
That's right. So that's called the hard problem for consciousness. David Chalmers, who's coined that word, professor of philosophy now in NYU, formerly Australia, he coined that word, the hard problem of consciousness. But actually, this is not a new problem. It's existed since Plato. So Plato called it the mind-body problem. He was an idealist. He said there's no universe, it's just ideas about the universe we have. And then his student, Aristotle, who was a physicalist, ushered in science, he said, no, the universe is made of stuff. But right now, the latest conversation, which I totally support, by the way, and this is where it gets very kind of mind-boggling, there's no universe. Okay, the universe is a cosmic dream. It's a simulation from a digital workshop outside of space and time. Mm-hmm. And if you want, the digital workshop is, if you want, call it God or cosmic consciousness or the mystery.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me with this shit. But I always suspected this stuff. What are the odds? What are the odds that he's gonna say that? It's so What was that? What? What? What is that, a headshot? Did you shoot me in the head or something? It could be somebody to my right that I didn't see. Oh, Throke's upper back. Oh, but I killed one. Okay.
That digital workshop is throwing out zeros and ones, and that is what we experience as the visible universe. So the difference between this table, Mount Everest, you, me, a galaxy, is just a different combination of zeros and ones.
Right. It's information, it's data.
It's data which can be coded as zeros and ones, but also as zeros and ones, which is called quantum computing.
IMB Alex Breakdown is supported by Symbiotica.
Living a healthy life looks different for everyone. For me,
thank you.
So, in the Eastern wisdom traditions, and also in traditions like the Kabbalah, also in Sufi mysticism, also in Eastern wisdom traditions, the universe is the appearance of cosmic consciousness.
we call it a projection. The Kabbalistic concept is that you're watching something on a screen.
So that's what I'm sympathetic to.
The world is wearing a mask.
The world is wearing a mask. I'm sympathetic to that. And actually, AI can support that argument. So that's why, I decided AI is the perfect example of zeros and ones, and also of zeros and ones soon with quantum computing. How does that relate to consciousness? Because consciousness is not computable. Consciousness doesn't have a border, okay, because it doesn't have a form. If it had a form, you'd be able to see consciousness, but you can't see it because it is what is doing the seeing. Okay, so it has no border, which means it's infinite, which means it's spaceless, timeless, incomprehensible, and actually beyond anything that we can conceive or imagine. Freeman Dyson, one of the greatest physicists of our times, who passed away only a few years ago in the mid-90s, from Princeton, originally from Cambridge, he said, God is what the mind becomes when it goes beyond the threshold of our comprehension. We just give up because there's no way to compute this mystery, but it is responsible for all computations.
There's a merger, really, between very old Eastern philosophical ideas and the new
ideas in Judaism and ideas in many Western traditions
Many
too.
Western traditions.
Including philosophers like Wittgenstein. Wittgenstein said, life is a dream, we are asleep, but once in a while we wake up enough to know that we're dreaming. So waking up simply means going from this projection to what is doing the projection. What is it that does the projection? And again, in Kabbalistic traditions, we are, and in Sufi traditions, we are a drop in the ocean of the divine.
תגיד לי, זה נכון שהמחברים של הברית החדשה עושים סלאם, מפרשים?
Mystery. And Rumi has a great poem. He says, you're not just a drop in the ocean, you're also the ocean in the drop.
Well, there's a fusion happening between current science, people in the artificial intelligence realm who are almost more techno-utopian in their view of artificial reality or life as a simulation, really thinking about it as a video game, and the older traditions that had the mystic elements to it.
Yeah, right now the preeminent philosopher scientist on this is a person called Nick Bostrom, and he talks about the universe being a simulation in a cosmic computer.
Thomas Campbell, he calls it, like autonomous, unbounded oneness. And
how about that? You can only imagine. You can only imagine Now we're in a fucking simulation. And what would it be like? Right? Try to think about it. Gives me the creeps, but life is creepy, so. What is that asshole? How did I come through this time? Shit, what? I didn't load it up. Close call. How did I kill this asshole? This is what you get. This is what you get when you mess with us. So scary, huh? I can only imagine living in a simulation. Damn. So fucking scary, man. It's not scary that it doesn't scare me that I know that the knowing of a superior being monitoring my evolution, my behavior, and learning everything that he created, because he created me. So who gives a shit? He created me, so he's monitoring. You know, he's monitoring his creation. It's like God watching his people after creating them, which is pretty normal in my opinion. You monitor them, just see how they're gonna do. You just gotta remove the factor that he's everywhere and at any time, and that he knows the future. Because if you add these features of God, the current, you know, like the spoken God that everybody believes in, if you add him, it's pointless. It's pointless to be alive. It's pointless. Yeah. So it's gotta be like more to it, you know? This is what you get when you mess with us. I'm gonna put it at 300. I don't see anyone. Not yet, though. So imagine this. God is everywhere, anytime, like simultaneously, all the time. He's with everyone. That's not special. At least not in my opinion. Because if he knows the future and he's everywhere, what's the point of creating us? Because he already knows what we are doing. Are you calling God stupid? Are you calling him bored? Are you accusing him of being shallow being? That's not action of a supreme entity. Because if he knew how we do, he wouldn't bother to create us. It's gotta be more than that. You know? It's gotta be more than that. Oh, Pasangado, 250, 300. Oh, what a shot. What a shot, huh? Is that a knee? This is what you get when you mess with us. Just try to comprehend the thought of God being so predictable. It's like telling me that he's gonna make humanity and then sit in his kingdom and watch it burn itself to the ground. So what's the purpose of God? You know what? What's the purpose of his creation? Why would he made it if he didn't want it? Right? He wouldn't create it. Like, if you were God, would you create such a thing? You probably wouldn't. You know why? Because it's pointless. And it's irrelevant. You wouldn't do that. Because if you have a garden, okay? Look at the earth as a garden. One garden in the whole galaxy. There's a galaxy, huh? We don't know that too. You know, because they said so. But you got a galaxy. And you plant apple seed. Because you want to have an apple tree. Right? Why would you plant an apple seed if you only want to watch it burn? If you don't want it to grow, if you don't want to have an apple tree, why would you plant the seed in the first place? Like, You plant the seed and you know that that you don't want an apple tree, but you planted the seed. Why? Like you knew that it's not gonna make an apple tree, and I don't know. You're gonna die way sooner. Okay? For example. Just stupid. When I think of it, it's stupid. It's pointless. You can't be so naive and think that God exists just to test you and see how your belief is strong and shit. That's stupid. I don't think God exists at all. He never did. It's so obvious that he never did exist. Why would he? Why would there be a being like that? It's pointless. It's just pointless. Our existence as humans is a mistake. Find something. Oh, you stand there, huh? Look at your head. Fuck. This is what you get when you mess with us. Good. I think I can hit the shot from here. I think I could. What? I just heard somebody. I killed this guy, right? Oh, from there. Okay. This is what you get. He probably killed this guy. Killed this guy too. Shot him through the fence. In his fucking head. Singing song too. I like this weather. Can have perfect audio. Good vision. Good experience. Lighthouse is not exactly fun map, but you learn to love it. Great sniping map. Great sniping map. This one. Right. So it's gonna be one at 250. Straight to the head, huh? I'm gonna bring it back to 200. Look at these cowboy. Dead. This is what you get when you mess with love. Oh, look at this guy. Done. Be careful of this roof. I don't think they're here. And I hope they're not.
Clear.
It is clear now. Didn't even check. didn't even check. That was lazy. Lazy. Can't run. Can't run. Yeah. Who the hell is this? Oh, it's a dead body. Sweetest. Yes. Train is here. Guys, a death. No, I'm gonna loot all my bodies. I'm going anywhere. Train can wait. I'll leave. Maybe there's a VX. An option. Now, of course. What do you have? My favorite. No. I'm gonna take it. These assholes lock good ammunition. Morphine. Take it. This is what she did. Shotgun. Not that bad. Okay, there's mines in this shit, so I need to go from here. I'm in. Good. It's good. 3.5 hours stream. I think we're done for today.
And it's,
100%.
you know, and he's a hardcore physicist who accidentally learned transcendental meditation and was off in another stratosphere as just a young grad student.
So he's got it right.
He's got it right.
He's got it right. And why is this important? Because if we realize that everything material is an illusion, then who is creating or what is creating the illusion? Are we participants in the creation of the universe, literally? Is there something very mysterious about the human species that is very biblically kind of metaphorically expressed as, the apple and the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, that we now have that knowledge. So AI can cause our extinction, but AI can also create a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world. So we're at a very critical crossroads in our evolution as a human species. And AI, because it's a large language model, You know, it's not just narrative language, but the language of physics, biology, astronomy, you name it, history, mythology, religion, spirituality. As we embark on this journey, we are going to see a leapfrogging of our cultural and evolution, but also our biological evolution. So 40,000 years ago, according to deep historians, and according to, maybe you've had him, Yuval Harari, he said 40,000 years ago, we left the rest of the human tribe because we had a language for narrative. All the animals, other animals, including other hominins, have a language for just mating calls, food calls, and danger calls.
The important stuff.
Yeah, the important. That's how we survive. But now we have this language where we can communicate ideas, but now we have large language models which combine narrative with physics, with biology, with religion, with spirituality. So what I'm saying right now, which a lot of people roll up their eyes, is that in 20 years, you're going to see the emergence of a new human species because, and I choose to call it metahuman, because our neural landscape is changing with these large language models. The more knowledge you acquire, the brain networks adjust to that. And then your epigenetic modulation occurs. So we will see a new human species in 20 years.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this, and obviously I'm trained in neuroscience, so we have to think about these things. Yeah. And, you know, the story that we kind of always tell is, it usually comes up when people say, why are so many people autistic? Why do we have so much ADHD? Could the human genome have been affected so acutely, right, in the last 20 years? And we know that a lot of that is diagnostic. It's the way that we're sort of...
But also the environment.
But also the environment. Absolutely, the environment has changed. I was listening today to a podcast, and they were saying, what's changed in the last 50 years? ADHD, autism rates, and the way we treat women's health, the food that we feed the women who are getting pregnant to make the babies, right? So if you look at what could have happened that's significant in the last 50 years, the environment, toxins, food, and kind of mental health care in a rapidly changing environment. So that being said, I was thinking about this yesterday in a very non-scientific way. My father, of blessed memory, he passed away 10 years ago. He was a huge basketball fan. And my father was a New Yorker, and he loved the New York Knicks. So I grew up watching the New York Knicks, Patrick Ewing, you know, all the classic greats. And I was raised on 1970s and 80s basketball. But my father also lived through Michael Jordan. And we would watch all of those games. And I was thinking my father's concept of basketball that he was raised with as a kid, you know, poor kid growing up, right, in the Bronx, it had to change so significantly when he saw the things that this athlete was doing, right? But when you talk about this, when I think about my grandparents, who were sweatshop workers who immigrated from Eastern Europe, who never even understood what neuroscience was that I was studying, I couldn't even explain it, right? Their concept of the world, my grandmother grew up with no electricity in the village that she fled, right? The world changed so significantly. So then I think about me, us, and our kids, and the way my child can pick up anything. And if he's never seen how to do this website or application online, his brain has figured it out. And I know that fundamentally, it's not a significantly different brain than 1,000 years ago.
But right now, what the interesting thing is, everyone who's listening to this, they're also watching us?
Yeah.
Okay. Their frontal cortex right now is changing as we speak. So they could be in England or in China, and their genetics is being affected in this part. Now, if we were talking, and since you're a neuroscientist, we were talking about something very emotionally distressing or whatever, then the reptilian and emotional brain would be activated and the neural networks would change. So every experience modulates our gene activity and our neural activity. That's why I'm saying in 20 years, this is a new human species with maybe extrasensory perception and remote viewing and all of that.
Okay, so that was on our list of things we wanted to talk to you about. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around the percentages we're talking about. And it's not in the gray matter conversation, but one of the things that people who are stuck in a materialistic worldview are so hung up on is, I believe what I can see. I maybe believe what I can feel, but only if I can describe it really well and if it's predictable and reproducible. When we talk to people all the time who feel that they understand things that cannot be measured, we've spoken to people who inexplicably see auras around people. They see energy.
The electromagnetic field.
Thomas Campbell, after transcendental meditation, said that he could see what looked like cotton candy between trees, right? So can you talk a little bit about, in terms of what we know is unobservable, given this kind of framework, how far can we extend that into saying there are things that we cannot measure that do exist and are real?
So you raise a very important point. We only see things that we believe in. So seeing is not believing, it's the other way around. Your cognitive and perceptual mechanisms adjust to what you believe in. So what you see is, even the tangible is not intangible. So our new science is saying that if you can see it, if you can touch it, it's tangible, it's not real. Okay, it's a perceptual activity that you are interpreting as matter. So matter is not the ontological primitive of the universe. Consciousness is the ontological primitive of the universe, and matter is a human name for this experience. So you say, this experience, what is it? It's a sensation. It's a sound, right? If I replace the word table with the word object, but replace the word object with the word experience, then I say, where is this experience happening? There's no image of this in your brain. There's no sound in your brain. There's no sensation. So the only place this experience is happening is outside of space-time in consciousness. So this idea that we exist in space-time as matter, molecules, force fields, that's a human construct for modes of knowing and experience in consciousness. Even the brain is an experience in consciousness.
Can you talk more, though, about we only believe what we see, or we only see what we believe?
In the 70s, I went to medical school I went to medical school in 1964, so I'm ancient. So in 1964, we were reading about two things which were very significant. One was, of course, DNA. And everybody is talking about this, the code of life, etc. But the other thing, there was a Nobel Prize awarded to 3 scientists who had raised kittens in 2 different rooms. So in one room, the kittens were exposed only to horizontal stripes. In the other room, the kittens were only exposed to vertical stripes. And then when these kittens grew up to be cats, one group of cats could only see a horizontal world. The other group of cats could only see a vertical world. And when their brains were examined, they only had the connections to see either horizontal worlds or vertical worlds. So what's the world before you've been conditioned to see it? Because you see, when you come into this world, you have no idea that this is called a table, or this is called a hand, or there's a body.
Or if you're white or black or speak whatever language you're supposed to speak.
All you experience is sensations, sounds, textures. And then you say, where is this experience happening? It's because it's a sensation. And the sensation is a modulation of consciousness, modulates itself into a sensation in order to experience itself. And the sensations are species specific. So, if you have a dragonfly has 30,000 eyes, it can see 360 degrees vision. A snake experiences infrared. A bat experiences the echo of ultrasound. What's the world really made of? It's a silly question. It's actually, the world is not made of anything. It's made of nothing, and therefore infinite possibilities.
Right.
Infinite possibilities. The way you're conditioned in your childhood determines how you see the world.
Say that again.
The way you're conditioned in your childhood. So the conditioning economic, it's ethnic,
emotional,
it's religious,
spiritual.
It's spiritual. All that conditioning is, through that conditioning, we see the world. And that conditioning becomes a belief system. You know, there's a beautiful poem by William Blake. He says, we are led to believe a lie when we see with and not through the eye that was born in a night to perish in a night while the soul slept in beams of light. So the soul